Well, here we are live with Susie Lloyd, the author of Yes, God. She's got a couple minutes here before she's going to see Cardinal or Bishop Sarah?
Cardinal Sarah.
Cardinal Sarah. And everyone's really excited about Cardinal Sarah. I've heard a lot of good things. Bishop Barron did well yesterday, and Cardinal Sarah today is the big headliner.
Yeah.
So, well, good.
Awesome.
Well, we are here at the World Meeting of Families. We're in booth number 742 at the Ave Maria Press booth, and I'm catching you real quickly before you go.
It's cheap.
Tell us about Yes, God a little bit. The book came out, I guess, the end of last year, or is that right? Or
it's been a couple
December,
years now.
yeah.
I already hit the conference trail, like good couple of years of conferencing to promote it. My book is based on a crazy idea I had that nobody wants to be a priest or religious nowadays because there's no worldly gain in it, which is a good thing, except that we have so few vocations. So I wanted to know what makes, whenever I'd meet a young person, like a 20-year-old, who would be in the seminary or in the novitiate or something, I'd be like, oh, why?
Yeah, why?
And it's how were you raised? Like, what kind of family did you come from? You must have come from a household of faith. And so I wanted to know, and I would always ask them, and I would listen to them tell me about their parents and what they did to be in the world but not of it. And I thought, here's a parenting book. After doing this for 10 years, I thought, here's my next book. It's a parenting book about how we can raise kids, not to be priests or nuns necessarily, but in a household of faith.
Yeah, right.
Away from like countercultural, like to prioritize, and to know so that they can hear the voice of God and do whatever God is calling them to do, whether it's to live in a family, to have a marital vocation, or a priestly or religious vocation, or even just to give everything as a single person. The idea is, I talk to these priests and sisters because I knew, it's kind of like the uniform told me something. Somebody had faith in your house, and I want to hear about it.
So what did you find? Because you went out and found a lot of families and interviewed some people and talked about their histories. Did you find some consistencies with the way kids were raised to become kind of...
It's funny. I thought I would see a lot of people like myself. I'm a homeschooler. I have lots of kids. And there were some people like that, for no question. But there were also people who met other descriptions, who rose above, certain circumstances like, impending divorce and stuck it out and kept the faith, and the kids just blossomed because of it. Certain things that we don't all have an easy situation or maybe the same situation. And so I found a lot of variety, but one thing I did see running through it was the priority of faith. Like, this is something we don't compromise on, this is something we embrace, this is something we love, and we live it, and all the different ways that people lived it I talk about in my book, which is so, like, some of them I've never even considered, and just different things that we can do to bring home that Catholic culture into our families. So.
It's got to be reassuring to hear that it's okay. You don't have to be like the perfect family to raise a perfect kid. Everybody's a little bit different, and just kind of being yourself.
Well, it's funny too. The parents, I talked to a few of the parents, and they were like, "Oh no, we're so imperfect. We're far from perfect. We didn't do anything. It was all the Holy Ghost." Well, it's funny because Saint Teresa's mother, who's about to be canonized with her husband, had the same attitude. Oh, I'm not a saint. Oh, I'm far from perfect. Well, she was a saint.
Yeah.
And so when I talked to the kids, the priests, the sisters, the nuns, they told me a different story. Oh yes, they knew their parents were exceptional parents. Like, they just knew. The one nun said to me, she's out with Mother Angelica's outfit in Hanceville. She said, I would have been so different if I had had different parents. I never would have, she knew her own weaknesses, and she knew the formation they gave her.
That's really incredible. Well, I know you have to run, so I don't want to take up too much of your time.
All right.
The book's called Yes, God, and we have it here at the Ave Maria Press booth. It's also available online as a print book or ebook, wherever your books are sold.
And it's funny too. Like, if you know my humor books, maybe you won't realize it, but this is a funny book too. It's my other books. Mind if I mention them?
Yeah, please do.
They're with another publisher, but hey. Please don't drink the holy water, and bless me, Father, for I have kids. This is very much its successor as far as a fun read, even if I do say so myself.
Where can people find you online?
SusieLloyd.com.
SusieLloyd.com. Well, Susie, thanks so much. Have a great week this week at the World Meeting of Families.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to see the Pope this weekend?
I've got the prison gig.
Hi, girl.
I'm so lucky.
That's awesome.
I wanted that. We have a kind of a little prison ministry in our family. So when they asked me at the register if I wanted what gig I wanted, I didn't want the Mob Scene Mass. I didn't want the Mob Scene Festival of Families. But I really wanted to see the Pope because at the prison because that's his element as Pope. Like that's his personality, to reach out to the downtrodden and the disenfranchised or the people no one else wants to deal with. So I really was like, I want that. I want to see Pope Francis that way.
That says something about you too. That's impressive to pick that. Thanks, Susie. Have a great week.
All right. Thanks, Jared.
Yep. Bye, everybody.